What is up, everybody? Welcome to our, guess we can call it UFC 300 post show. What a night. I don't think any words can give it justice, but we're going to try it. So, how we doing, brother?
Doing great. I'm still riding a high off of Max Holloway's KO. I know it's not the main event. I know we're not starting there, but that's got to be a top 5 moment in UFC history. Dana White, he says he's in the business of creating holy shit moments, and that was the biggest holy shit moment, in my opinion, since Conor McGregor Aldo. I know
Yeah.
Leon and Usman were in there. I know Adesanya had his on Pereira. There might be another one I'm missing, but that was just something, especially because all eyes were already on the fight. The
Yeah.
narratives going into the fight. Whew, man,
Yeah.
gives me
It's rare, like, when you hype something up so much, it's kind of hard to, like, exceed the expectations, right? So, like, it could have been a good ass 5 round war. Like, even if the fight doesn't end that way, it still would have been a great fight. But I don't think it would have, like, we'd be talking about it because it was like you expected so much that, like, the bar's set here, and even if it's here, that's fucking really good. But it has to meet the bar. So, like, the fact that it exceeded the expectations, like, if you would have told me before the fight, I'd been like, yeah, and anything that happens, I'll believe it. That, fuck no.
just the way everything went down, but the ending, yeah, historical moment.
Yeah,
My guy Bustos can vouch for me. I was standing next to him and I was like, with like 25 seconds, I was like, "Hey, bro, Max is gonna point. Max is gonna point." And Bustos was like, "I hope not, because we put money on Max." And then just Gaethje does that Rolling Thunder, Max points. Next thing you know, and then
yeah,
history. But anyway, we gotta stay somewhat on track here. It's not like the main event was boring by any means. Alex Poatan
yeah,
Pereira sends Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill to the Sweet Dreams, or not so sweet dreams, unfortunately. A stoppage in the action on a kick that wasn't a nut shot, but Herb, or was it Herb Dean that stepped in? Was that the ref?
yeah. Herb.
Yeah, Herb steps in, thought it was a nut shot. Pereira pushes him off. They get back into it about 2 seconds later. Botan knocks him out. I actually have a video from a crowd view, so we could check that out before we hop into it.
No, it's good.
I didn't want to play too much because I don't want him knocking on our doors with guns or anything like that, you know.
Yeah. Um, I mean, obviously, not to take anything away from Alex, but I just don't think Jamal was ready. Obviously, anytime you get in a UFC fight, you need your legs. You need your legs 100% healthy. We've seen that with Izzy. We've seen that with Connor. But, like, especially with Pereira, he's just a bad man to fight if your legs are fucked up, if you're lower body injury. Um, there was, like, probably 10 seconds before that, there was an exchange where I kind of seen Jamal's back foot buckle, and I was like, oh, that shit doesn't look right. Um, but then that happens, and you sent me that how his leg buckled in the end too when he fell, kind of like the Conor McGregor. Um, yeah, he didn't look sharp. Overextending on a lot of punches. Again, tough to fight anybody coming off that injury, but when you fight a guy like Poatan, it's just even harder. He's so technical, he's so crisp that you got to be on 100% on your A game. I mean, look
Yep.
at Izzy, one of the best fighters of all time, and it took him a Hail Mary shot to beat him.
Or you got to try to wrestle him. We still
Yeah,
haven't really. I mean, we've seen it partially with Yuri and partially with Jan Blachowicz, but I don't know. I really want to see a good wrestler in there with Poatan. Like if Ankalaev tries to wrestle. Speaking of
yeah,
who we want to see in there, what do we do with this division now? Who do you got
yeah.
next to Poatan?
Man, watching the first couple minutes of the Rakic and Yuri fight, I was like, oh, it's Rakic. Um, Not that I think Rakic would have had success, but I just think Rakic look, and we'll get into that one obviously later, but like Rakic looks so good. I was like, oh yeah, Rakic is the next guy. He's gonna give him a chance. But you talk about just like being in the right place in the right time. Like we've talked about, like how we want to see him wrestle. There's really no one for him to. I mean, obviously Ankalaev, but there's really no one there that's going to challenge him wrestling other than Ankalaev. I don't know if they do that. Kind of a boring fight there. I don't know. It's interesting. There's no one really at the 85 division that you bring up. I mean, I don't know. It's got to be Ankalaev. I don't know if that fight sells, but I think they really needed Rakic to win that fight.
Yeah, just for something new up there because
Yeah.
everyone would be down for a Yuri rematch against Pereira, but I think most people think he needs one more win probably.
Yeah, not when there's guys ahead of you that haven't got a shot.
Yeah. It's tough though because with the rankings, let me double check, but the UFC's rankings, I know they're not like the end all be all, but I want to say that so Yuri's number 1, Ankalaev's number 2, Jamal's number 3 right now. So Yuri, you don't really want to see him get that title shot right now. It feels weird because he just got knocked out by Pereira less than a year ago. And then Ankalaev, yes, makes sense, but just not a big name. I don't know. And then Jamal, obviously not, just lost to Pereira. And then number 4 is Jan Blachowicz. And then number 5 is Rakic. Number 6 is Krylov. 7's Johnny Walker. So there's not really many options to pick from here. It's UFC is going to have to make a tough call.
Tom Aspinall
goes down?
No. Pereira goes up.
Pereira goes up. Ooh. Hello. And then, but for the interim, or do you just strip?
No, at some point he's got to be stripped, right?
Yeah. I think they just want John and Stipe with a belt. I mean, at this point, yes, we'd all love to see the fight, but everyone's in agreement it's too late. It happened a little too late for them to both be in their primes, talking about John and Stipe.
Yeah.
I would be open to that. I mean, Aspinall, personally, I think Aspinall would take Pereira down and do what a lot of people have thought guys would do to Pereira earlier on. I think you would take him down, submit him.
And this is why I said I had the bet on Pereira. Just like every time, it's always, oh, this could happen. It doesn't, bro. That left hand is too much. The power is too much. And he's durable. He's not like these guys like who have the power and also get hit and weak chins. He's durable, bro. And his leg kicks keeps you balanced. Like all the power he had. If he wasn't able to kick, he would still have a lot of success.
Yeah, that's facts. Just boxing. But then you throw in the kicks and it's top 5 in the whole organization.
Yeah. And you mentioned Yuri. Obviously, they fought already, so we kind of know how that turns out. Yuri did have a lot of success, but the way that I seen Rakic tear up Yuri's legs in the first round and a half, I think Alex rewatches that, sees that, and that's all bad.
And we saw how the first Alex and Yuri fight went too. Alex destroyed his legs.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I almost feel like Ankalaev's gonna get the shot, and then they might go Yuri versus Jamal. Spoiler, that might be my pick for who Jamal should fight next. I'm not opposed to it. I think Ankalaev has probably earned the shot. It's not like he has an insane resume. His last 3 wins are a Johnny Walker knockout, Anthony Smith TKO, and then he beat Santos by unanimous decision.
Yeah.
So nothing crazy.
I was thinking this today, and if you just look at his UFC career in a nutshell, just his whole UFC career, nothing else, nothing else. Just look at his UFC career.
Pereira?
I think Alex Pereira is one of the best combat fighters of all time, just of what he did coming in that early or coming in this late in his career, being successful this early, right? So you look at that. But then you add his success as a kickboxer. He's one of the greatest combat sports athletes of all time.
Has to be. It's insane. It's hard to think of at least striking. I think you could give him best striker of all time.
Yeah. Because striker, yes, but I'm just like, as a combat sports athlete, fighting with your hands, whatever it is, he's one of the best of all time.
It's hard to disagree. Triple champ in kickboxing, double champ in the UFC, might get a shot at becoming a triple champion. If he gets even a chance at that just shows how great he really is.
Yeah.
And he's becoming a star too. Hasn't spoken a lick of English, but is turning into a superstar.
Yeah. We had another and still Zhang Weili beats Yan Xiaonan. Kind of how we figured, unanimous decision. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, good fight. Pretty much kind of how we predicted it. Xiao Nan did have her moments in the fight where she looked pretty good on the feet, where she would start to find the range, land a couple shots, but Zhang Weili was just too good everywhere. She got the submission, was it the end of the first round when she choked her out, or the end of the second, one of the two, but Xiao Nan got saved by the bell. I'm sure some people were pissed about that had Weili inside the distance. I personally just had her in some parlays money line because I didn't really know if she was going to finish her or not. But yeah, good fight. Probably Tatiana Suarez next. I don't think anyone's too excited to see them back on a card.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right. I'll just play this video before we start talking about it to set the scene. And I've watched it a million times. I'll watch it a million more.
Some mortality. Look at this. Holloway just told him, stand right here. Oh! Big connection late. Oh!
Hard to even say anything after that, dude. It just gives you chills.
Well, insane.
Right in the middle of the canvas. For the octagon.
Yeah, just a striking masterclass from Max Holloway. Going up a division. I mean, picked him apart the whole fight. I would have loved to see the scorecards. I'd imagine he was winning 4-1.
So I was gonna put a picture of it in here. So an old judge that I've said his name on here before, Junichiro Kamijo, I believe he was on that Mexico City card where there was a lot of crazy decisions being made. He had this one 2-2 going into the fifth. Sal D'Amato and Derek Cleary, they both had the fight scored 3-1. Max going into that fifth round, and Max definitely won the fifth. So it still would have been a unanimous decision because there's no way Kamijo would have gave Gaethje that fifth round. But man. Yeah. Max Holloway. What a
I was thinking of this earlier. I'm trying to remember what it was. There can be a world in 2024 or 2025 where you have Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway as champions in their divisions.
That's facts. I mean, if they both win their next fights, most likely Dustin's locked in for a title shot, and Max has got to be locked in if he wants it.
At that point, Max has to go up, right? That's the fight to make.
If he beats Ilya, or
if Max beats Ilya and Dustin has the belt, that's the fight to make.
Oh, for sure. Even though Dustin's up 2-0, those fights were when Max was very, very young, and one of them was short notice.
Yeah.
That would be a treat. Or
2 belts on the line.
Max versus Conor.
For the BMF and for the
for the BMF. Say Conor beats Chandler, Max beats Ilya, because I think if Max beats Ilya Topuria, he's done at featherweight.
he just goes up.
I wrote down a list of the top featherweights that Max has beat over his career. This isn't even all of them, but this is most of them. The Korean Zombie, Arnold Allen, Yair Rodriguez, Calvin Kattar, Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo twice, Anthony Pettis, and Charles Oliveira when he fought down there. Those were just the ones I wrote down. He had a lot of other very good wins as well. So I don't really know what there's left for him to prove at featherweight. Volk beat him 3 times, so I guess if Max had the belt and Volk was still around, maybe I don't think they do it again. But
if Gaethje would have beat Holloway, does he get the title fight?
Most definitely. I think if he doesn't have this fight, he gets it because Dustin's getting it, and Gaethje knocked out Dustin.
Yeah. So you think it was? I mean, Sarayuki and said he turned it down. You think that's true? He was the first option or no?
Yeah, but I think it was going to be on UFC 302 no matter what. So they said you can fight on this day or you're not fighting for it right now.
So if Charles won, it was Charles for sure the first guy to get the call?
Yeah, first guy to get the call, definitely.
So if Charles wins, I like my what ifs. If Charles won and Gaethje won, who gets the call? Charles, right?
I think, I just like to pick the tie. I use who has the head-to-head for all those tiebreakers because you can with those top 5 guys.
Yeah, I'm all for Dustin and Allen, man. I know we're gonna talk about that, but that's I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I don't think. I think
What,
Islam's
so who do
too
you
good.
where do you lean on a Max versus Ilya? I was thinking about this today, bro. Like, I don't want to bet against Max Holloway. I don't want to keep doing it, but it just doesn't seem right that like Ilya's here, and not that Max isn't, but like Ilya's on the way up, finally gets the belt, beats Volk. He's the guy now, and then now a guy that's lost a title fight 3 straight times gonna come back and win it. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what everyone's been saying, and Max is right at the age right now that most number one pound for pound guys probably are. He's 32 years old, I believe. I think that's the age that Volk was in that third Max Holloway fight. And Max was probably 30, 29, somewhere close to Ilya's age. Ilya's even younger. So I don't know. Ilya does seem a lot faster. He's that next generation. Max Holloway probably isn't, one of those. When I use my cars analogy, he's not one of those next generation ones. He's an OG fighter, goes out there and brawls. Not saying he's not technical, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I completely get you, but I have to go with Max. I've got to.
I mean, it's tough. I don't know. It's just like a weird concept, but if it wasn't anyone other than Max, I'd be like, oh yeah, Ilya for sure, but this is Max.
Because Ilya's probably faster, probably a better grappler. Has the advantages in most places. I'd say Max is a better kicker, but
yeah.
Even Max was quoted. I saw a video of Max saying on the Joe Rogan podcast, he said, yeah, most people I fight are faster than me. Most people I fight are stronger than me, but it just comes down to that crazy that I have in me. I'm willing to do things that people aren't. I mean, obviously all those fighters are crazy, but Max is just different.
Yeah.
He could really, if he conquers the path laid out ahead of him, he could be in the top 5 GOAT conversations.
Yeah.
If he were to beat Ilya and then go up and beat Islam or Dustin or whoever had the 155 belt and then say he beats Conor or something like that too.
I don't see Conor ever making it back to 55.
I forgot they're fighting at welterweight, huh?
Yeah.
That sucks because all the fights that we want to see Conor in are at 55. Or not all of them, but most of them. Because those are the guys that we've been picturing him fighting.
Maybe a 65? I don't know.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah. We talked about it. Arman Tsarukyan beats Charles Oliveira. Arman allegedly turned down the title fight. That's going to Dustin Poirier. Split decision. I thought it was 2-1.
Me too. I was 2-1 Arman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of confused when they said split decision. I thought they were going to give it to Charles because you know how those things can be sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think Arman dominated the fight. Besides when Charles had the submission attempts, they were definitely threats.
Yeah.
But Arman
it was impressive to see someone like want to keep Charles on his back.
Mm-hmm. It's like what Islam did, but obviously that's Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick. It's kind of how I saw the fight going. I think Charles, his style's amazing, but when he runs into those Dagestanis or those Russians that have that elite ground game, they're not scared to go into his guard. And you kind of see it. You kind of just see it not work for Charles at that top level. If he doesn't land that knockout shot or get that crazy submission, it's a tough night for him because he's on his back a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I got a video to play real quick, though. End of the fight, I had money on Tsarukyan, so I was scared right here.
Oh, he's trying to finish him here.
Thumbs up.
I can't play too much of it, but basically it looked like Tsarukyan was not moving for a little bit, and then he starts
that one and the beginning of the first round.
Yes. It's hard to tell, though, if they're just not moving so they don't give up any positions or if they're not moving because they're out. And then the ref doesn't want to step in and call it early.
The last one was tight, though. You saw it on his face. Last one was tight.
Yeah, that was – wonder how close the ref was to stepping in there.
Yeah, now with the time, they know. You let that one right out, especially he's winning the fight. He gets a little extra leeway. If he was losing, maybe you take a look at it, but –
I wonder what the call would be if – say they don't call it and it looks like Tsarukyan's kind of just staying in the same spot to defend, but then the horn sounds, Charles gets up and Tsarukyan, yes. but they never called it, and they made it the
Yeah.
distance. Would it go to the cards?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but fuck, if it was a split decision, Charles probably would have won that shit.
Yeah, that's facts. Dude, I was so hammered during the Gaethje Holloway fight that for a second I thought that the knockout happened like after the horn had already sounded, and I was
Shit,
like, "Oh,
I
is it going
mean-
to the cards?"
I mean, you could look like that, like it could look like that sober. It was close.
All right, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, have your back there, bro. It wasn't because you were drunk.
Appreciate you.
So Armand just waits for the winner.
Yeah, if you're the number one contender, he already has the fight against Islam. I'm not saying it's going to be Islam, but I am saying it's going to be Islam. Yeah, dude, he's legit. He's 27. He's a lot younger than anyone else up there in that lightweight division. Max is the third youngest guy in the top 10. So that tells you what you need to know.
Yeah.
And he hasn't fought any of the other big, I guess you could say, like big five. When you look at Islam, Gaethje, Dustin, Charles, and then I guess not Chandler anymore. So there's a lot of fresh fights, a lot of big ones for Saryukian.
Yeah.
I kind of think he's on steroids, though. Not going to lie.
Hey, we'll find out soon, I guess.
Because he looks so jacked. And when he punched the fan, if all the fan did was flip him off and he punched him for that, like I get you fired up for a fight, but that could be roid rage too.
Nah, bro, their religion, you can't do that for real.
I guess, but there's no way that's the first time you saw it. It's cool to say you'd fuck.
You think people are just flipping him off in the street?
That's true. That's true. He doesn't look that crazy though. It's cool to say. It's crazy though. It's cool to say you're gonna fuck this chick at the press conference in your native language, but you flip him off and it's the end of the world. Crazy.
Bo Nickel beats Cody Brundage. With all due respect to Bo Nickel, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I feel like the Yuri and Rakic fight should have switched places with the Bo Nickel and Brundage fight on the card.
Or Aljo Cater, either one.
Yeah, which is no fault to them. They didn't pick it, but I don't know. I feel like you look at this card. Obviously, Bo Nickel is going to be a star in 5 years, but like where they are now, Rakic and Yuri are bigger names than those two combined.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you also the UFC. I bet they were thinking.
And this was damn near a title eliminator fight.
Yeah, the Rakic Yuri.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And it was an elite high level fight too that had been built up for years. Real or not years, but they'd both kind of been in that top of the light heavyweight division for a while, but slowed down by injuries. Back to Bo Nickel though, dude. Like UFC is gonna slow their roll with him. I think they're not gonna give him a guy right outside the top 15 because I'm not gonna say Cody Brundage exposed him because Bo Nickel is still dominated on the ground. He has great entries on his takedowns. But the amount of times that he just kind of like dips his head off to when he throws a right hand, or just in general, like, dude, those top middleweights are gonna just catch that with a head kick or a hook or an uppercut, or they're gonna make those reads and adjustments very quickly. I think Chris Curtis would give Bo Nickel a very bad night out.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
Stylistically.
Yeah. When does he get a top 15 matchup?
I mean, Cody Brundage is about as far away from the top 15 as you could be. So I'd say he's still got one or two more to go.
Yeah. It's weird though, because like some people that just fast track right away. You look at Alex Pereira, they didn't waste time with him. It's just weird to see different, like how like different the approaches are.
I think age plays a factor too.
Yeah. And Pereira was honestly at the time there for one thing. So he had to be fast tracked.
Yeah. 100%. Who else did some other names I had written down for Bo Nickel if they didn't want to jump up to the Chris Curtis level. Could give him someone like an Eric Anders, Bruno Ferreira, or Edmund Shabazian, somewhere in that range. I think if he goes out and dominates one of those guys, then you could give him a ranked guy or give him my Chris Curtis fight.
Yeah, I like that. Aljo beats Calvin Kattar, unanimous decision. Kind of how we expected.
Yeah, you called that one on the money. Yeah. I think think Cater landed 19 strikes or something like that.
Yeah. What do you like for Aljo next at 45?
Oh, for Aljo next, dude, I gotta tip my cap to Aljo. It's not like I was really thinking that he didn't have a chance. I just wasn't gonna support him or bet on him because we're still on the other side. Till Shogun Marab handle it, until that rivalry's all the way behind us. He's still on the other team. But next for Aljo, I've got 2 names in mind. I've got Brian Ortega or Mozvar Evelev. And those are both title eliminators. Aljo's got to be 1 fight away from the title. I mean, when you have multiple title defenses at a weight class, and then you go up. Yeah, if he wins 2 fights convincingly in that next weight class, you got to give him a shot. And that's coming from a Suga fan. That's coming from someone that's not a huge Aljo guy. I don't love watching his fights, but you got to respect it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I think I said it before on our preview show, but Aljo and Ortega would be a sick fight because there's no way Aljo is going to be able to just backpack Ortega. And if he does, then shit. Sugar's just the best fighter of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have anyone in mind besides those two for Aljo?
No, I had the same thing. He was kind of 1 more away, and he's got to be a title eliminator, so probably those 2.
Yeah, I mean, you could give him like a Yair, but Yair's coming off a loss, so it doesn't build it up quite as well. What about Calvin Kattar? He's 1-4 in his last 5.
Whatever.
I had Bryce Mitchell, Edson Barboza for a couple names I wrote down.
Yeah, Bryce.
I've got his name written down a few times here, just as I think he's right in the mix with a few of these featherweights coming off of losses on this card.
I want to say I haven't been this excited to come on the air and talk about a female fight as I am talking about Kayla Harrison.
Okay. She impressed you?
She impressed me, bro. I just think she's so fucking big. She has a lot of power. There was times Holly like reverse guard and then Kayla would just get up. She's too big, bro. She's too big. Like I said, I want to see her versus Amanda Nunes. Hopefully, Kayla gets 1 more win or 2, and she's in a title mix. She calls out Amanda. That's the fight I want. But I'm very impressed with Kayla. I know Holly Holm's old. She's still a legend in the sport, but I'm on the Kayla Harrison bandwagon. She's young, bro.
How old is she again?
She's 33.
Oh, she's got 8 more, probably 6 more years in her prime at that women's bantamweight division.
Yeah, and her back looks so big. She can just take you down whenever she wants, and she'll just get up if she wants to. Her striking looked decent with Holly Holm. Yeah, I was very impressed. I was very excited about that. I'm glad we have someone like hasn't been a person in this all women's divisions that I'm excited to watch. Maybe since like for a short stint, Rose. But yeah, I'm really excited about Kayla Harrison.
Hell yeah. So I think she called out Juliana Pena for an interim title fight since Raquel Pennington's the champ right now. I wish they could just strip Raquel Pennington for the reason of no one giving a fuck about her and have Kayla Harrison and Juliana fight for the title. But obviously that's not how this sport works. So I think you either go Kayla Pena title eliminator or interim fight, pretty much the same thing.
That's really a big time fight. That's a big time
bigger
fight.
That's the biggest fight in the division right now for sure.
Yeah, 1000%. So Deke Yusuf, Diego Lopes, we talked about it. We said it could go this way, it could go that way, and it went the way that benefited Diego Lopes. Those are the ones that put you on the map.
Bro, he looked fucking good. On the feet, his boxing looked crisp. He had some nice combinations. Those uppercuts he was landing, I was like, damn. Thought you were a grappler.
Yeah.
Which he is. Dude, he
cracked the top 15 in the featherweight division. So, what do you like for him?
I had it written down. I was so locked in at work earlier today. I was writing it down for everyone. Let me see who I got real quick. For Diego,
it's got to be Bryce Mitchell.
Ooh, yeah, that would be tough. Test him against another elite grappler. He might just knock Bryce out though.
Clip this because we might snipe this one. Diego Lopes versus Bryce Mitchell.
Okay, I like that. Do you think Lopes gets him right now?
Yeah, I think Lopes is another. I think Lopes is trending, and he's one of those guys.
Yeah. I almost thought fucking give Lopes Aljo, but Aljo has to fight up.
Yeah.
Oh, but that would be a sick fight too.
Yeah.
Lopes is
Yeah.
big for that division. He's a big body.
I mean, technically, Aljo don't have to fight up. If you tell Aljo, if you win, you get a title shot.
That's true.
And then if you just tell Lopes, like if you win, you're one away.
Yeah, I don't even think Lopes is in that much of a rush. But Lopes, he did call out. So his path that he called out in his post-fight interview, he said he wants Evelev and then he wants Topuria. So he's thinking he's ready for the title. Obviously, he could just be hyped up right after a win.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to absolutely rush it with Lopes, though. I think maybe even like a Josh Emmett, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. I could see that one.
Be tough. Man, speaking of tough, this next fight, Jalen Turner threw away a win. We'll get into that, actually. Did he throw it away, or did it just kind of look bad in the moment? I'll play the video. Anyway, Renato Moicano beats Jalen Turner via, it was the TKO. Yeah, just grappled the shit out of him. Looked like a Dagestani, to be honest. It was pretty impressive. But this was the most notable moment of the fight right here at the end of the first round.
A lot of energy.
Yeah,
I have two theories.
Obviously, I had Jalen Turner, so I was kind of upset about that. But yeah, I mean, what's your theory?
So it could be either he wanted to get the 300K with
what
a
it was,
walk-off
yeah.
knockout, or after that Bobby Green fight, when he almost killed Bobby Green when the ref didn't step in, maybe he just maybe it fucked him up a little bit, because him and Bobby were boys going into that fight, and Moicano's a likable guy too. I'm more leaning towards the 300K bonus.
Yeah, for sure.
But he did kind of I think it was Goddard. He looked at him right after and he's like, come on, he's out of it, which he wasn't fully out of it.
Yeah.
My theory on the knockdown, though, obviously only Money Moicano knows this, but I kind of think he was doing the Charles Oliveira thing, where you get hit hard, and instead of trying to stay on your feet and getting your lights absolutely put out, you just drop to your butt and open your guard because you're comfortable there.
Yeah.
So I don't really think he was as knocked out as people think, but when he got up to his feet, he did look pretty bad when he stumbled up against the cage. That part wasn't in the clip.
Yeah. What do you like for Moicano?
Oh, Money Moicano at number 10. This is a tough one because I've always loved Moicano. Hilarious. I agree with his values as well. His post-fight press conference and interview, and all the interviews he's been doing after the fact are awesome. What he says about fuck the government, pretty much. But it's tough. I just never really felt like he was a top 10 lightweight, but he's here now.
Yeah.
Maybe you give him a Fiziev or a Gamrot.
Fiziev or Gamrot, yeah.
He has to fight up because he's on a win streak. He has a lot of hype behind him right now. He's not young. So I think maybe Fiziev or Gamrot. If he wins that, then he gets to fight one of the big names.
Yeah, I like that.
Moicano's also in a spot where one of those big names probably won't turn him down just because he's going to hype up that fight, and a lot of eyes are going to be on Money Moicano. So say a Charles or a Gaethje or a Chandler or a Dustin, a year or two down the road, they'd probably be willing to fight Moicano.
Yeah. I agree. Big time performance from him. Great comeback win there after we thought it was over for him. So congrats to him. Congrats to Jessica Andrade. Beats Marina Rodriguez by a split decision.
Robbery.
Bobby Miller absolutely pieces up Jim Miller in the second fight of the night. Our first bet. He looked good. I mean, it was, all due respect, it was Jim Miller. But shouts to Jim Miller, man. 100, 200, 300, what a legend.
Dropped him. He dropped Bobby at one point. I really thought my prediction was about to come true.
I know.
But Jim Miller
I wasn't like it early, bro. Bobby dropping his hands and shit. I don't like that shit.
Yeah, Miller did break his hand in the first round of the fight. Broke his toe, 23
Yeah.
stitches. Still finished the fight though. Was getting wailed on in that third round. Absolute dog. I hope Miller retires, but it's up to him. He's also experienced enough and he's good enough where if he fights the right guy in lightweight, he'll probably be able to just beat him based off of experience.
Yeah. I wanted to say this before I forget. One thing that's not being talked about is how good of a bantamweight Davison Figueiredo is.
Hello.
Can I now call for the Peter Yan fight?
Yup, I was right there with you. I just know Peter's out for a fat minute with his injury, so I don't know if Figgy's going to want to wait
Cheeto?
that long. I'm down for any of those guys. I had Song Yadong on my list. And then I also had dude, if him and Henry didn't train together, that would be a good one too.
I mean, he has 2 really good wins in the 35 division, bro.
Mm-hmm. And he's looked great. He hasn't really been in danger in either of them. He's looked very good. I think that weight cut was starting to mess him up at 125 because I remember it was when I first started becoming like a really diehard fan, but I just thought Figgy was unbeatable. When I would see him at flyweight, when he was on that run, he just looked too strong, too fast, too technical, too good everywhere. Then Moreno finally kind of cracked him. But I think now that he's not cutting that extra 10 pounds, he's here for a few more years.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really impressed with him at 35 division. I think people are sleeping on him. He's working his way into some title eliminators, some title opportunities, the run he's been on. So good to see him and Aljo go up divisions and have success. I'm always fans of that. So congrats to them.
Yeah.
It's the first time they've ever done a whole fucking recap of the whole card, man. Just what a night. Give Dana flowers, give everyone on the card their flowers. It's a special, special night for the sport.
Yeah, and like you said, it's hard to hit the bar when we set it that high, and we've been setting this bar for months, and they passed that thing.
Yeah.
Bro, just Max Holloway putting that cherry on top of everything. Yeah. He's got the world in his hands now.
And then to end the night,
oh my goodness,
the Mac is back.
Hello. What a sick way to announce it, too. Just gets a note handed to him at the press conference and reads that shit off.
Bro, that shit's crazy. Dana's a fucking guy.
I wonder if he actually didn't know or if they had that planned.
That was for sure planned.
WWE type shit.
Yeah,
in
for sure.
A little bit. Bro, that was so sick, though.
So you're telling me you think that was the first time he heard McGregor was booked?
No, I mean, maybe you heard McGregor was confirmed, but yeah, maybe the Dustin Islam one though, because they could have just offered it to Saryukian right there, and then they told Dana like, "Hey, if Saryukian takes this, it's him, but if not, it's Dustin." Like you just found out which one it was.
Yeah,
that's fucking tough though, bro. The Mac is back June 29th, International Fight Week. I love that it's on International Fight Week too. Dana always finds a way, even with all these other crazy cards. We had 300 before. We have the Sphere after, but he just finds a way to get International Fight Week loaded. I hope they don't do the McGregor tactic where they don't stack the card because they know everyone's going to buy it for Conor.
International
I don't think
Fight
they will.
Week, though, you have
to. That's the thing. Dana has a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got to get to Vegas. We probably won't be able to get tickets for this one, but we've just got to be. We've got to be on the ground that week.
Yeah,
gambling. And they have those watch parties in like the outdoor arenas, I want to say, or just go to Circa.
Yeah, Circa.
Hello. I want to stay there. I'm an Excalibur guy through and through, but I want to try out the Circa.
Yeah. Not lost in the shuffle in the note was also Islam versus Dustin. We talked about it earlier. Confirmed for June 1st. That'll be a main event. Where's that one at?
New Jersey. Kind of random. Okay. Islam's not going all the way out west. I got to meet him halfway.
Okay, I like that. We talked about it earlier. You think it's Islam. I as well think it's Islam, but great to see Diamond get another shot at the belt. Never against that. The co-main of that will be Strickland versus Costa. Kind of surprising. That was a surprising one in there. Who do you like in that one?
Probably Strickland, just because if Costa doesn't get it done early, Strickland's going to dominate him in the later rounds, I believe. But Strickland has a bad chin, doesn't punch very hard. Costa has a very good chin, punches very hard. So that math kind of points towards Costa. But with that being said, I still give the nod to Strickland right now. Let me see if they have the odds up for any of these fights yet. Just give me
I think McGregor was favored.
I wouldn't doubt it. Chandler's just so reckless, and McGregor has his way with reckless people.
Yeah.
Makachev, Dustin. Oh, guess what it is?
Makachev minus 300. Whoa.
Even more. Makachev minus 450.
Wow.
Dustin plus 350. That's only on Bet Online right now. So, but FanDuel has Islam at minus 500.
Oh.
Yeah. And then FanDuel has Strickland at minus 215. Costa.
People forget. Diamond had Khabib in a choke.
Yeah, that's true. But I just don't see it. Islam's too good on the feet. I think Islam might be better than Dustin on the feet right now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's tough to say though. Whenever you count Dustin out, he seems to find a way. I counted him out against, or no, actually, I was on him against Gaethje, but then Gaethje knocked his ass.
Is there any McGregor in a Chandler line?
Let me see. I got Bovada, which is my personal book, has it at they have it both at minus 110. McGregor and Chandler each. And then DraftKings has McGregor minus 118, Chandler minus 102. Then I'm seeing another one with McGregor minus 120, Chandler minus 105. So very close right now. Line has to move towards Conor, right?
Yeah, for those listening, if you like Conor, get him now because a lot of fans are actually going to bet Conor. A lot of casuals are going to bet Conor, so that'll go up. He'll finish like 130.
Yeah. And it's not because of John Jones, Cyril Gane type reason. No logic behind it. Just because the Mac is back.
That was a big bet.
That was so elite, bro. That you just went in that week.
Yeah, that was a big bet. Haven't had like that one in a minute.
Gotta wait for the right. Gotta pick and choose. Yeah, Suga's just kind of like expected.
The days of Suga being underdog are over, unless he fights Ilya, probably.
Yeah, unless Max knocks Ilya out, and then I wouldn't want to see Suga versus Max. That would tear me apart. My number 1 and number 2 fighting each other. I couldn't do it.
He's not gonna watch.
Maybe not. Just look at the updates on ESPN, like with the punches, with the counts. Shit. NBA playoffs. Before we get out of here, obviously great UFC 300 card. Thank you, Dana. I've got to say the first round of the NBA playoffs is one of my favorite times. 4 games a day for like a week or two.
I'm a big Sunday ABC at noon game guy.
Talk to me, Lakers white jerseys.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, I know. Notable first round series: Lakers Nuggets. Ooh, obvious. I think Denver would. I'm a Laker fan, but I also am a Denver respecter. I know how good they are. Suns in Minnesota. Do you think Phoenix gets it done?
I don't know, man. It's tough. Obviously, they have the talent, but Ant-Man's something different.
MJ's kid. Him and Jimmy both. Bro, anytime a player kind of looks like MJ and he pops off, he's MJ's long-lost kid.
Yeah.
They really all could be, though. I think Mike got around like that. What about, let's see what else. What are the Mavs Clippers?
That's a good one.
That's a crazy series. I'm big on a healthy Clippers in the playoffs because we haven't seen it besides the bubble.
Yeah.
But I'm also a huge Luka and I'm a huge Kyrie fan. He might be my favorite player in the league right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Clippers are deep, though. And Ty Lue. I know you're a big Ty Lue guy.
Yeah. Be interesting to see how they guard Luka, how they different looks they give him. Be real interesting to see.
What about the play-in games on Friday? We've got Sacramento taking on New Orleans. and then we've got the Bulls and the Heat.
I don't know. Jimmy's out, but I don't think Miami loses at home. Then I like the Kings.
Yeah, I like the Kings against OKC. I don't know. It depends if Monk or Herter comes back. I think they need one of those two.
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
because I think Sabonis will match up well with Chet, and then Fox and Shea. That's just a battle.
Yeah.
Sixers, Knicks, bro. Aren't the Knicks the 2 seed?
Yeah.
That's nutty. I think the Sixers beat them. And then Pacers, Bucks. Do the Pacers have a chance? No Giannis?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta win. You gotta win. Obviously, the first game without Giannis, you gotta get to an early lead. You gotta get up 2-1, 2-0. Hope he comes back. You sneak one, and then you win the series.
They gotta steal one on the road with Giannis out, or it's over for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Any other sports news? Kentucky hired a former player for them, right? Not really. It was the BYU coach.
Yeah, Mark Pope. He played at Kentucky, won a national championship there. Played for Rick Pitino. Great hire. Great basketball hire.
A lot cheaper than one of the big names too, huh?
Did I not tell you before the news broke? Did I not tell you before the news broke that Cal was going to Arkansas?
Dude, you told me a solid hour or two, or maybe less than that, but it was elite, bro. You sniped it. You got the scoops like that. You got the inside track.
I had some scoops for real.
Shit, we need to start getting the MMA.
Went down a rabbit hole. I know, facts.
You said, yeah, you knew everything. As soon as it was Musselman that set it off, right? Or I guess Andy Enfield, technically.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, Andy leaving, you look at it now, set it all off, but I don't know. A lot of it, I mean, there's a lot of factors. Chris Beard and Jerome Tang both said no.
Chris
and
Beard
then,
said no?
Yeah, bro. So Calipari was like the third option, but obviously I don't think they offered them the money they offered Calipari. I think what happened was like they offered those two and they were like, fuck it, like let's just go all in, try to get this dude.
Yeah, I got you. So they tried to get like a good hire for a good price, and then they said, screw it, we'll get a shit hire for a huge price, but a big name.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he changes his like approach too, because that one and done shit doesn't work no more.
Yeah, with the transfers especially.
Yeah.
I heard someone saying with Mark Pope also that him being a big name's not really going to matter for recruiting because it's more just going to be who your GM is or GM/AD for a college, the one determining how much money the players can get.
So yeah, it's whoever has the most money.
If the coach can coach and knows the X's and O's, Kentucky will get him the players.
Yeah, exactly.
Always good when a blue blood gets a new coach, or always exciting at least.
But did you see his press conference?
No, was it? Oh, the one like in the Rupp Arena?
Bro, that shit was nuts.
I gotta watch it. I heard about it. It was like packed, right?
Bro, full arena.
That's crazy. 80% of schools can't fill an arena for their biggest game of the year.
Bro, so he won the championship in I don't know the year. I don't want to get it wrong.
I think 96. I heard that.
Yeah, so
with Slick Rick, right?
Yeah, so they had a bus pull up and through the tunnel in the arena. So the whole team, the whole 96 championship team, walks out the bus onto the floor. He walks out last holding the trophy like this. Bro, you got to watch that shit. That shit was fucking hard. That shit was hard.
I messed with Kentucky.
Yeah, shit was hard.
I messed with them. All right, then. Damn, 50 minutes. It felt like 10 because UFC 300 was so damn good. So much to talk about. All right, then we'll see y'all next week. We've got shit. I should know this. What's the card next week? Is it? I'll get it.
I know we got Matthias Nicolau on there somewhere. I don't know if that's the main.
I think that
Matthias,
is. Ouch.
Matthias Nicolau, Alex Perez.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one. No wonder I couldn't remember. But Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney this weekend also on 420. I forgot I wanted to talk about that real quick. Ryan Garcia is either the best actor in the world or he is completely lost his mind. CTE, screws loose, bad advertising for boxing if he's not acting, because he acts like one of the craziest people I've ever seen in my life. In
I was
every
gonna look at a line on that actually today.
I meant to look, but I would think Haney's in the thousands with the way Garcia's
Really?
been acting. Yes, bro. Let me see.
I know how he's been acting, but like I've heard people say, obviously, like everybody has a shot, but like some like boxing experts have said like Garcia really has a shot. Also, if he was like stable too, I'm sure that's a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think if Garcia was just more powerful. Okay, Haney's minus 800 on DraftKings.
Oh, okay.
I would probably take Haney by decision if I was betting that fight, because Haney's not really a power puncher. He's just really good defensively. Kind of dances around. Trying to see what Haney by decision would pay out.
I got
I would
minus
guess it's like
150 here.
Minus 750 for Haney by decision.
Really?
Or no, I thought that's what you said. My bad.
No, I got minus 150.
Oh, I might take that. I might actually hammer that.
Yeah.
But Garcia has so many screws loose. He might just like walk out of the ring or bite his ear or something.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I got then.
All right.
I'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.
Deuces.